Hello, I'm Sensei Alex Kakio, and the title of today's talk is Life is Not a Meritocracy. Before we get into that, I'll remind you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I post talks in the future. Also, if you'd like to do a deep dive into Buddhist practice, check out my book, Perfectly Ordinary Buddhist Teachings for Everyday Life. It's available on Amazon, and there's a link to a sample chapter of the book in the description for this talk. So when I was living and working on an organic farm in upstate New York, I learned about a very interesting practice called transplanting that organic farmers use to give their crops a better chance of growing. Now normally when we think about growing plants, we imagine a pot filled with soil, we poke a hole in it, we drop in the seed, we cover it up, and we let nature take its course. And that's fine when we're growing things in our house, but life's a lot more dangerous when we're growing seeds outside. They could be washed away in the rain, they could be eaten by insects or vermin, they may be crowded out by weeds that grow faster than they do. So there are lots of tips and tricks that farmers use to give their plants a fighting chance, and one of them is called transplanting, where instead of planting the seeds outside, we start them off in a greenhouse. So imagine a greenhouse, and you have shelves on either side about 6 feet high, and each shelf you have seed trays filled with soil. And then the apprentice, me in this case, goes to each tray, pokes a hole in the soil, drops in a seed, covers it up, and then he lets nature take its course. And what happens is now the seeds, instead of growing outdoors, are growing in a safe, climate-controlled environment where they can grow to their full potential 4 to 6 weeks. And then once they've got a good root system, they've got some good leaves going, we transplant them outdoors. And now they have a fighting chance. Now this is a cool technique, but I saw something interesting when I was learning it, and that was that even though all the seeds were in the same greenhouse with the same soil, and they'd all been saved from the last year, so they even came from the same farm, after the 6 weeks were up, some of the trays, the plants were very large. Some of them, the plants were kind of medium-sized, and in some trays, the plants hadn't grown much at all. And I was very worried when I saw this. I thought I'd done something wrong and ruined the crop for the year, but the farm owner came in, she took a look around and said, no, this is about normal. Sometimes seeds grow well, sometimes they don't. We don't know why. And it was in that moment that I learned that farming is not a meritocracy. That it's possible to do everything exactly right and still have bad things happen. And part of the genius of farmers and farm workers is that they're able to adapt and overcome all of the changes and all the problems that occur in the process of growing food. Now, this lesson, life isn't a meritocracy, it applies to farming, but it also applies to life in general. Because we are all affected by so many different types of karma. Our personal karma, the karma of our family, the karma of our organization, a job, let's say, our city. All of it's coming together in different ways, and as a result, it's possible that we can do everything exactly right and still have it go wrong. So maybe we're very kind to a coworker or a family member and they don't return our kindness. Maybe we work very hard at a job but we still get laid off. Maybe we plan a wonderful trip or vacation with family members, but then there's some sort of emergency that keeps us from going on the trip. And now we can't get our deposit back. These are problems. I don't want to minimize them. They're not pleasant things to deal with. But one thing that can help us deal with them to not turn our anger on ourselves or others is to remember that life isn't a meritocracy. We do the best we can, and usually that works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And it's on us to use our inner wisdom to look at the situation and just figure out what's what. Maybe there was something we could have done different. But if there wasn't, if we look at the situation and we realize objectively, I've done everything I can, I've been more than nice to this person and they're just not returning my kindness, I really gave it my all at this job and they still let me go, well, we have to learn how to accept that. Doesn't mean we have to like it, but we have to be careful to not turn our anger on ourselves. I'm so stupid, I'm not good enough, why can't I do things correctly? Or turn our anger on other people. They're not good enough, they're stupid, why can't they respect what I'm doing for them? Both of those things are not great from a Buddhist perspective. Rather, we just understand we're doing the best we can in a not perfect situation. We understand that the situation may or may not work the way we want. And if it doesn't, if our seeds don't grow, that's okay. We regroup, and then we plant more seeds. And as we keep planting seeds of kindness, of generosity, of conscientiousness, more seeds will grow than not. So that's the talk for today. I hope it was helpful. If you'd like to read articles I've written on Buddhist practice, you can do that at my blog, The Same Old Zen. Link for that is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to continue the conversation, please leave a comment in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys, and I promise I'll respond. So, until next time, Amitabha.